Hi guys, so I wanted to make a video to introduce the new unit. And this one is grade 10. Visual art and crafts are doing the same unit. And this is the careers unit, and I often start the grade 10 class with this unit, and I didn't this year just because it was the first time I was doing the grade 10 and the crafts mix, so wasn't quite sure how to start the course, as we discussed at the time. But then I came across this project and I realized this is actually a great project to merge the two classes together. So what we're doing is we're looking at the career of animation. And when you think of animation, usually you think of people drawing cartoons or it all being done on a computer, but we're looking at stop motion animation. So the most famous one of that would be, for most of you, let me just spin this around, that guy right there. So Tim Burton famously uses stop motion animation for a lot of his work. Every single thing that he deals with is handmade. So Jack the Skeleton is handmade, and if there's a scene where he's walking down a street, all the buildings have been made out of foam, things are made out of clay, I mean every material you can possibly think about. So what I wanted to do was show you this video that I found on Facebook, which kind of started my whole idea for this project. Okay, so the video that I want you to watch, I've posted everything on the website right here under careers. I've put it at the end beside crafts class. And the first one we're watching is this one called STEAM Figures. So you notice that it's called STEMs, which most of you know is science, technology, engineering, and math. But the kind of current way to talk about it is as STEAM, because they add the A in for art, which of course is what we're doing. And I love this little video.
I suppose puppet making often begins by just gathering stuff, like materials that I find attractive, you know, like wood and sticks and wire and leaves and flowers, petals, like bits of broken electronics, and like things that have already had a life are lovely to have in puppets. And then from there you just start improvising. You know, it's like making music. You just see where it leads you. I stick and sculpt and keep scraping and putting things together and shaping things, and then suddenly what was just stuff becomes this character staring back at you. And like what I love about stop motion puppets is that they have this inherent sadness about them. They're like little actors that only ever get to play one role. Everything they do is their swan song. You know, they have a tiny little life, and then they just go back to being inanimate objects again.
Okay, so that is the video. Okay, so I will be putting together the criteria and doing a project description, but at this point I just want you to start collecting materials and to be looking at things with new eyes and seeing what you could use. So first of all, you could go outside. That's what happens when you leave your house. Leave your house, leaves. Okay, so any of this kind of stuff is going to be really fun. All this stuff was left by a bird that's making a nest on my front porch, things like rocks. The deal with this project is one of the success criteria for making like the better projects will be your combining of a variety of different materials. So like taking a bunch of rocks and gluing them together and stick a face on is not really what I'm looking for here. This thing, I bought a hanging basket the other day and I cut the top of it off, and so I ended up with this hook and all these wires, and I think this is what I would use to probably start making mine. Okay, so in the kitchen I started looking for things like, tin foil is going to be really great for maybe part of a project, but the same thing, I could just take a bunch of tin foil, twist it, and make figurines. Okay, but it's going to be much more interesting if we start adding other materials. Ooh, macaroni. I can make a whole bunch of things just out of macaroni, actually. But again, combining all these things together is going to be much more interesting. Using unconventional things to get your material. So this is a paper bowl that I could easily cut and bend and glue or staple or whatever you've got. That's what you've got to figure out. This is an empty Jell-O cup. What I'd be most excited about is this right here, which is why we're in the kitchen. It's my junk drawer in my kitchen, and it's got just so much great stuff in it. When you do barbecue skewers, I've got so many of these that I could use to start making this animated puppet. And, this, I don't know what that is, but I like it. I saw this thing and I was like, I could see this being the head of some kind of space alien so easy. It's that idea of just looking at things with your imagination. This becomes a top hat pretty easily. I don't know what this thing is, but it already moves a little bit, which I was like, okay. So once again, please don't go and don't start destroying all your parents' good silverware and getting me in trouble. That's not what this is about. This is about, let's create really cool things. So then while I was in here, I was like, what about using things that are live? That could prove really interesting too. Whether it's part of a project or maybe you just start combining things that are live. I could easily see starting to cut into lemons and oranges and tomatoes and using celery and making these animated puppets that are made out of fruit or vegetables. And imagine if, then as they start to rot or they start to die off, what happens? I mean, this flower could easily be the skirt of something, and imagine as the petals start to drop and start to droop. And if you were to take photos of that and to document it, what happens if you're starting to make things out of fruit and vegetable as they start to disintegrate? Again, if you're going for the live kind of animated thing, you might want to keep that outside or in some kind of container. Or maybe you're using a combination of all these things. Again, kind of in another week or two, I've got some other videos I want you to watch. You can start figuring all this out. For now, this was more of just start looking around and gathering material and getting ideas for what you can use. So the creating the animated puppet is part of this unit. There's other things, there's other videos I'm going to ask you to watch, some about like Tim Burton's work and what is stop motion animation, and just understanding it a bit more from the fine art, from the crafts as well. So I will, again, just continue to post things for you to watch and maybe read. And for now, I just wanted you to kind of get inspired by what this project is. And if you're like me, after you watch that video, I can't have anything around me without going, look at all the potential I could make out of this. And, ooh, what could I, can I take apart my pens? So start collecting stuff and stay tuned for what's coming next. Hope you guys are all doing okay.